Welcome back to another fantastic episode of I'm Gonna Get Swarmed by Yellow Jackets. It's I don't know what is this. What episode is this? I don't even know. Let's see. Let's check the mousetrap. We're going for a walk. We're in the outdoor office. I don't see any mouses in the mousetrap, and the rat didn't knock it down. Let's see. We're gonna go on a walk. We're gonna go on a walk today. The 3 zucchini look fine. The cabbage look very cabbagey. Well, shoot. I was gonna say what's this called? The cucumber? The cucumber's still trying to figure things out. I like to take the cucumber tendrils and then tie them in knots. The cucumber tendrils are surprisingly strong, and tying them in knots is super easy. The tomato... Oh, we have grape tomatoes finally. Oh my gosh, those are going to be amazing. One of my tomato plants really got stunted. And something, I'm assuming, I don't even want to know what the hell it is at this point. Something is just coming through and just decimating the tomatoes. Eating all the side branches, side shoots off. Which in and of itself is not that big of a deal because I train these grapes to go up anyway. But I find it funny that it's not eating through the determinants. Like, the determinants get trashed, but I think they get trashed from the bunny running around. But the indeterminants are just getting gobbled. That sucks. I had planned on about 12 to 16 tomatoes this year. Oh shit, that is a lot of crows. There's like a blue jay, and I think the crows have decided that blue jay needs to go. I think I could have started a couple more tomatoes in this thing, but like I've really got to rethink the tomato thing. The little swizzlers, they don't they do good with the indeterminates, but the determinants, I need to build a damn fortress around these things. I've got cages and swizzlers and twine and those green curly Q donut thing. Like, man, and those things are a mess. How are these cucumbers doing? These cucumbers are doing good. These cucumbers are doing really good. Uh-oh, that cucumber's trying to go outside. No, Mr. Cucumber. You're going to stay inside. Lisa. No, because if you go out there, you're going to get eaten. The cucumbers keep trying to go outside. Okay, I see some little cucumbers. Man, that there's just a giant knot. One of them I got to go back up properly, and the other one just turned into a giant knot. Oh man, there's so many cucumbers growing on this thing. We knocked it out of the park with cucumbers this year, and I should draw you guys a little map if I actually cared enough. If I actually thought more than 3 people would pay attention, but I've got one spot that the cucumbers like, one spot that the tomatoes like, and then one spot that the zucchini like. And then I'm not going to deliberately do cabbages again, but definitely if the neighbors are going to keep giving me cabbages, I'm going to keep trying to do cabbages. even though I have no idea what to do with the cabbages, and there's a little weird green thing. I don't know anything about cabbages. I don't know, something got in there and ate them or what. Cabbages are a mystery to me. But all the trees are out except for our little pear sprouts. So let's go check on the trees and see how those are doing. And then after we do the homestead walkthrough, so the wood pile's looking good, but it's soaked, obviously, because it keeps raining, but it'll dry back out again. I've got to really clean up the wood pile area. Check and see how our trees are doing. One of these days when I feel up to it, I'm going to work on the mower again. But I'm not sure if I should work on the mower first or split the wood. Finish splitting the wood first. Okay, let's check on our apple trees. My wife came out yesterday and inventoried them. And all of them, but maybe one or two, are looking good. Something golden apple. It's looking good. Yellow. It's looking good. This next guy. Summer red apple. It's looking good. It was chewed down to a twig, but there was just barely enough buds on it. What's this guy? Jonah Gold apple. This one's got some new buds on it. It's looking good. Yellow Delicious. This one's just exploding in buds. It is coming back with a vengeance, and that's kind of what's interesting. Oh wow, that is the most brightest, greenest looking baby grasshopper I've ever seen. Some of these are coming back just like crazy. Semi-dwarf Red Delicious. See, like this thing got burnt to a crisp, and its buds are coming back out the ends. So that thing is coming back just fine. Next row here. Oh, shoot, I should have watered after I fertilized. I thought it was going to rain more. Golden Russet. This thing is doing just fine. This must have been one of the earlier ones we planted before they got completely annihilated. Cortland. This one got eaten back to almost nothing, but it is budding back out really good. And Liberty. This one got eaten back quite a bit, but enough leaves on it survived to where it's kind of half budding, half leaves. Oh man, I really gotta come back and water these. They're soaked in the fertilizer from yesterday. Snow something apple. That one's fine. Oh man, I soaked this thing. Shoot. Oh, that's the wolf. Yeah, this thing got eaten back to almost nothing. It's got like one branch left. I'll water that. I guess you guys can listen to me water. Hopefully this sound's not too annoying. The Gala The Gala got eaten back alive, but it's rebutting. The Honey Crisp, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to make it. It's only got 5 teeny tiny leaves, and it's not rebutting at all, which is a real bummer. Then the two combos that are my brothers, they're doing just fine. The Brayburn, that thing got eaten back a ton, but it's doing okay. That's the one that the crows, or whatever it was, shredded. Matsu, that thing's fine. That thing's doing really good. That's one of the first ones we planted. That Matsu's going to be huge. Is that it? No. Got one more over here. What's this guy? This is also one of the first ones we planted, so it's doing a lot better. Gravenstein, and oh my gosh, it is the most biggest, beautifulest red apple I've ever seen. This thing is doing amazing. Okay, so I'm going to water the fertilizer off of these things because I don't want them to burn, and they're probably already burning. So when I listened to the recording back the last time, the water didn't sound too bad, but I'm going to go back and re-listen to this, and if the water sounds bad, I'll chop this part. Otherwise, you guys will get to hear me walking around, hopefully, rinsing off. The funny thing is like, it says it's 80 degrees today. It says it's 80 degrees, and it does not feel like it's 80. It feels like it's like 65 with no wind. Wild. Get off of there, you fertilizer. It is a beautiful day for a walk. It's funny, me and the neighbor had the same idea. Oh shit, contact. I just got soaked by the thing. Hopefully that didn't get my mic too wet. What I need to do is I need to go mow around the outer edge of the property again. Is what I need to do. Ooh. I knew one of these days I was going to accidentally set this thing down and get sprayed. Yeah, I think I said this in one of my videos in the past. Is the diameter of my yard now is the size of my entire subdivision, the inner circumference of my subdivision, where I'm from most recently. I think that's pretty funny. Just move. You don't know what's funny, if you're listening to these in order, my whole just move rant was actually way longer originally, but I stopped myself, if you can believe it. I had a much longer rant. Y'all, like, people, because I was in Mark's chat. Well, I'm in Mark's chat every night, and it was just flooded with people go, just move, just move, just move. Again, Like, I open his chat up to start modding, and the first thing I read is people telling him to move. Every time. Every show. And, you know, you can't always just move. There's a lot of reasons why you can't just move. Oh shoot, I need to come back out and hammer this in more. Okay. That's good feedback. Alright. You can't always just move. And I was trying to figure out how I was going to work this in to the conversation about the girl in Scotland. Oh, the cows are very bossy. Or that's a chainsaw. Cows and chainsaws sound a lot the same. Cow, let's go see what the cow drama's about. Make sure they're not in the road complaining. I don't think they're in the road. They're just being silly. The gal, what, in Scotland? A girl, I should say. She was a girl. And she had her hatchet. More like a tomahawk. She had her tomahawk and her knife. And her friend had already been knocked, or her sister had already been knocked out by these immigrants. Illegals, whatever. Her sister had already been knocked out by them. And they only started conveniently, like, the video only shows her pulling her weapons out to defend herself and her friend, because there was three of them. Just move. So the UK is full of illegals, and the majority of the US is full of illegals. Where are we supposed to move to? And I brought this up on an earlier episode. Our culture, and that doesn't just mean the color of my skin, but our culture doesn't have anywhere to move to. Our country is somewhere between 30 to 50 million. Some people are saying up to 100 million illegals right now. Nobody knows what the real number is. We just know it's massive. Where are we supposed to go? We don't have a country. And I think that's what they want. They don't want us to have a country. So we don't have a country. So just move. Just move. We don't have a country. We don't have a country to move to. Am I supposed to move to Poland? Like, where am I? Where would it be okay? Where would it be okay for me to move to where people wouldn't be telling me to move anymore? And don't say Ohio. I know like 10 people that watch this stream, or sometimes I think there's just a whole ton of you that are from Ohio. So don't even say Ohio. Fuck that place. Don't tell me that you don't feel like Ohio is being completely overran by illegals, because you're fucking lying. It was the same thing when I was talking to Nana about this. She's like, well, we don't have to move. We're not overran. And I'm like, you're not overran yet. But like, what percentage does it have to be for you to be overran? See, I would argue that more than like 1 or 2% is already too much. 1 to 2% that's incompatible is too much. And again, I'm not talking about, the color of my skin. What I'm really talking about is just Christians in general. And like, oh, you want a Christian ethno state? No, I don't want a Christian ethno state. I want a place where we're not told to move anymore. I want a place where we're not told to move anymore. That's what I want. That's not Ohio. And I don't mean Catholic Christians. And I don't mean Jehovah's Witnesses Christians. Well, they're cowards. I don't mean Mormons. A lot of people used to say, like, go back to Russia if you want, Eastern Orthodox Christianity. But they're not really allowed. There really isn't a Second Amendment in Russia. They can just mobilize the entire country and all of a sudden you're sent to a meat grinder. It's not exactly what I would call, a free country. I would go to Russia and people would go, just move. Just move, just move. Like, oh my gosh, you guys. Like, if that's why in my last episode I said opinions can be wrong. Just moving is wrong. That's an invalid opinion. It's I'd call it like a non-answer. It's a non-solution. It's not a valid solution. Does that make sense? I'm almost done. Almost done rinsing. Rinsing the fertilizer off everything from yesterday. I thought it rained. I guess it didn't rain enough. Yeah, it's just a moving is not a solution. Similarly, I think it was it Hard to Hurt? Hard to Hurt's YouTube had a thing one where it's like this is my answer to people who could just run. Just run. Unless you're like an Olympic level athlete, just running is not a solution. And then I think he would make the argument that if you're an Olympic level athlete, you could probably also just fight the person off if you had to. And if you're fighting another Olympic level athlete, you're better off trying to fight them because you're both just going to run and then you're both going to be tired. And so it's like just move. Like, we're dealing with people with infinite resources. You can't just move. You can move, but there has to be a plan. You can't move without a plan. You can't move without resources. And every single time you move, your resources are diminished. You're not getting more. There's no resupplies. There's no restocking. You gotta be able to, I think, literally and figuratively put roots down somewhere. For all you vantards that can move, you're at a major disadvantage because unless you're really good at hiding your stashes, you can't put roots down anywhere. Literally or figuratively, you can try to hide stuff a little bit, but you're not going to literally be able to put roots down. And I would say that I'm in a good situation, relatively, being able to put literal roots down. If I can keep it all alive. Obviously it's different if there's just like roving radiation or something. Alright, grapes. Oh yeah, the grapes needed too. Maybe I will get the mower out and mow the trail again. And I haven't mowed the trail in ages. But I can't record and do that, that's for sure. Here we go. Ooh. Yikes. I think there was like a... What was the part 2 to all this? I think the part 2 to all this was just be boring. You're not trying to survive so you can, you know, counterattack and get your revenge. You're trying to survive the normies. Don't worry about the government. The government can't even keep the roads. Can't even keep the roads fixed. Let's go this way. Alright, something like that, I guess. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. How many trees? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 4, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 30, if you count the big apple tree. So I have 30 trees on this side of the road, or this side of the house, and then a bunch of cherry trees. See, is this poor thing gonna come back? I feel like I should have rinsed it off more. Come back, you little monster. The problem is it, whatever ate this, ate the whole thing down to where it has no growth points left. Maybe two growth points left on this Honeycrisp. It's a real bummer. Real bummer. Hoping it comes back. And then this big monster apple trees, which is actually like 5 apple trees in one. Because I think these are all the suckers from the original. This apple tree's got to be like 100 years old. These apples still aren't quite ready yet. Go check the cherry trees. Also, before you think you're gonna dox me based on how many apple trees and stuff I have, we went for a drive. And it turns out I'm not the only one. somebody else. Maybe that person bought the other half of the apple trees. But they've got like 30 trees in their yard. So just move, just move, just move, just move. Oh, I'm sorry. I wonder how much it would cost to move somewhere that had 40 fruit-bearing trees. Literal orchard. Just move. Just move. Can I have an orchard in Ohio? Or am I going to move to Ohio and then everyone's just going to tell me to move again? Just move. Just move. Just move. I know there's rural places in Ohio. I don't know how the apple trees grow in Ohio. But I'm sure somebody's going to be like, "Oh, Ohio, you can grow plenty of apple trees and cherry trees." Here's the thing, though, is like the Pacific Northwest is kind of like, especially, man, these holes are massive. You know, Washington is known for its apple trees. Like, apple trees is what we do. Like, ideally, every yard would have apple trees. You know? Instead, they have these gross, non-producing plums and non-producing cherries that are just like an affront to nature, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, you know what? I must have mowed this, or my wife mowed it, because there's just a little itty, well, either that or the cows have been reaching through the fence and eating it down. You know what? That's probably it, because the entire fence is lined with cow pies. So they've been poking their heads through. What little gems. My little battle moochers. I could reach through the fence with my shovel and get all these cow pies, but I'm not going to. Yeah, that's what it is. Maybe we mowed this. Maybe my wife mowed it. I come back out here. Our mower broke. There's a couple people that might actually understand the significance of that. Back when I was trying to do that 18 volt, I was trying to start a series called 18 volt prepper, but only like, man, those cow pies are like the size of anthills. But only like one person really appreciated it. That mower, I did a couple videos of that mower. That mower did not make it. That mower did not make it. I gotta figure out what I want to do with this half of the yard. I wanted to fill it up with shipping containers. Be so rad. I think I was worried that if I put trees on this side of the yard, that they would get wrecked. That cow pie is like the size of an armadillo. I haven't seen that cow in a while. They must have turned it into lunch meat. Too bad I can't reach that one. I could fertilize. That cow pie is so huge. I could fertilize an entire tote with that cow pie. That's how big that cow pie is. Of course, it would be so hot that it would probably just burn everything in it, but hey-o, what do you do? What can you do? Uh-oh, the cows are looking at me. Excuse me, sir, do you have treats? Do you have treats, sir? So for those of you who don't know, somebody dropped off a riding lawnmower that had been rolled twice and almost completely annihilated. And that's what I was using Grok to repair. Damn, those holes are huge. I wonder if the voles came over here. I haven't seen a mole in ages. The voles could have done that. Anyway. Shoot, I have to mow outside this. I was using Grok to repair it, but the motors, $250, 260 bucks a piece. Way too cost prohibitive, but I almost got the I got the rest of it working. I just need to figure out how to fix the tire. Shouldn't be too hard. I just have to learn how to get tires off. Still some gnarly pit holes I need to fix here. How is Mr. Rhubarb? I had like 7 or 8 rhubarb. I don't know how many of you remember that. Only one rhubarb survived. It was a rhubarb that my wife picked up. Oh. Hello, Mr. Rhubarb. I'll water really quick. And some over here. Mr. Rhubarb. My plan was to have tons of rhubarbs. That didn't happen. My huckleberries got fried. It's time to sit down. The clover's doing okay. That's pretty neat. Oh man. But yeah, I'm kind of at an impasse because I'm stuck between, do I get a new mower or do I repair the old mower? And the old mower is going to cost a huge chunk into the price of a new mower. So, but the other real question is how much do I really need to mow this place? But for fire danger and stuff, mowing it would be a really good idea. I'm gonna sit down and my eye's bugging me. Got some crud in my eye. So, in the grand scheme of things, this summer in terms of homesteadability, I think I give us like a 7.5 out of 10. We really clutched this one out. Oh, my eye's bugging me. Seriously. Oh, shoot. I must have like an eyelash on my eyeball. I give us like a 7.5 out of 10. I kind of want to say that we like lucked out. But I don't think it was luck. I think it was blessings. A little bit of luck and a little bit of blessings. Sit down and kind of collect my thoughts real quick. And some of it was skill. Some of it was skill because like, sorry, that shuffling is probably crazy loud. I don't know why these mics pick that up so bad. Like parsing the zucchini and the cucumbers out, which look identical when they're little sproutlings. Like, that was good. I almost did perfect on that. I screwed one cucumber and one zucchini. And then when I went to flip the zucchini, it didn't make it. No, you know what? I take that back. I put that cucumber there on purpose. Because that's where the lattice is. That's right. The bumblebees came out of nowhere as soon as those cucumbers got going. They love them, and the cucumbers have so many flowers. The bumblebees smash each other out of the way trying to get into them. It's great. I mean, I just don't know what to say. Like, we're getting close to something. I think everybody in I don't know what to call it, the vision group, the Ohio / New Yorkistan, all of them, they all seem to think that something's coming, coalescing around hydro and grid down. Hydro, I mean water shortages, grid down, energy bills. Even people that aren't preppers, that just purely talk about the economy. There's this guy, he just purely talks about the economy, and he hangs out with other economists. The dude's like rich, and he just walks around all day and talks. Does that remind you of somebody? I'm not rich, but he is. And he was talking about how there was people's electric bills have apparently finally outstripped like their mortgage. And the thing is, like, if you're poor, there's nothing you can do about that, because solar is expensive. And he and another one, was it City Prepping, who is a prepper, he just got his solar install, and he was talking about how the federal solar credits are running out at the end of this year, which is going to make solar even harder, and we won't be able to swing it, not by far. We have just way too many other priorities, so that's just gonna have to wait. We have a little solar, but we don't have whole home solar. We don't have whole home battery solutions. We have like just enough to keep the fridge and freezer running. But City Prepping just got like a 20 kWh setup, and he got those bifacial panels, the panels that can get the rebound, like the reflecting power and stuff, which is just insane. Those things are just great. So I think he got like an 11 kWh in solar and then 20 kWh in batteries. That might not sound like a lot, but with how good these bifacials are, even if you only get like a couple good hours of solar a day, that's enough to just completely recharge your battery bank. And if you're only running on the essentials, unless it's just like pouring down rain, you're going to be able to refill your batteries like every day, no problem. So that was a really smart setup. I haven't watched his whole video yet, but if you don't watch City Prepping, I don't endorse a lot of channels, but his is pretty good. Even though he's a bit kooky sometimes. Well, he's not kooky. He pisses a lot of people off, though. He talks about climate change way too much. The thing is that ignoring climate change at this point, you're an idiot if you're ignoring climate change. I've talked about that a lot before. People go, oh, it's hot out. You mean it's called summer? Oh, it's cold out. You mean it's called being winter? Oh, it's raining out. You mean it's called being spring? And if you're incapable of ignoring or of acknowledging the fact that something's going on with the weather, you're just fucking retarded. I don't have time to deal with you. People just think it's so hilarious. I know I've talked about this so many times. People think it's so hilarious that, oh, atmospheric river. You mean rain, and everyone just mocks the news and calls it fear-mongering because, you know, I used to think that way about El Nino and La Nina, and I thought it was just, there's the AC. And I thought it was the stupidest thing in the world. I still do. But there has to be names for things, and if that's gonna fucking trigger you, the fact that different weather things have different names, then you're a fucking idiot. Now, is there weather manipulation? I think, you know, I think you could make an argument one way or the other. The whole chemtrails thing, though, just fucking give me a break. Oh, there's more chemtrails today than there is yesterday. If you don't understand the difference between chemtrails and contrails, there's no hope. There's no hope for you. The cloud, yeah. I'm not saying like cloud seeding is not real, but like people just think it's just so funny, and it just comes off as like just oxygen starved retardation. To be like, oh, there's Mo. Oh, look at them! Look at them all! Look at them all! Yeah, it's called airplanes flying over. I used to live under fucking SeaTac Airport. Oh, this people be like, oh, this never used to be. Whoa. It's like, have you never lived under an airport? Maybe there didn't used to be jets that had, you know, a route over your house, and maybe there is now. This shit is not like, if you don't understand the difference, I don't know. People's fucking stupidity just makes me so frustrated. And I said, I think it was on Hudson Valley's show last night. We all gonna die. Climate refugeeism is gonna be a real thing. It's already a real thing. It's just more with homeless and vantards right now, or people that have 2 or 3 houses. But climate refugeeism is going to be a much wider spread, because everyone's going to spend every penny they can to be able to move. And it's going to be related about where there's water and where there's even a remotely livable, tolerable climate. Because as energy costs soar and water becomes more extremely rare as it all goes to the data centers, or just wasted in use or lose rights in agriculture, which that's bullshit too. Whatever, we're all gonna die anyway. But it's still frustrating to exacerbate it like that. The Pacific Northwest, I think I said this last episode or two, like, that was one of the main reasons why I decided to live here. This is one of, like, the most amazing places on the planet Earth. Oh, look, over there's the mountains. Oh, look, over there's the ocean, and I'm stuck in the middle in the rainforest. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You're not going to get that in Montana, or Utah, or Idaho, or certainly not the fucking desert. Like, this is, the ocean's there, the mountains are there, and I'm in the rainforest. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm not moving. Retarded. It's retarded. You know, everybody is going to be moving here. Everyone is going to be moving here. This is going to be the place to be. When everyone's getting smoked out by the Dust Bowl and getting smoked out by locusts and rats and fucking you name it, man. The Pacific Northwest is one of the places everyone's going to be going to. We don't have hurricanes. We have tropical storms, but almost never. You know, we can get some nasty storms here, but like, it's nothing that's not survivable. I mean, I've camped out in like near hurricane weathers twice. It's survivable. It sucks. It's kind of scary, but you know, you can do it. I've camped in the snow. Like, very, very little in terms of climate in the Pacific Northwest can kill you. And that's why there are so many mother effing homeless here. It's also why there's so many effing illegals here. This place is like the closest thing to paradise there is. Fuck Ohio. Sorry, I know you guys love Ohio. Like I said, I've got probably like 10 friends that live there. But seriously, fuck that place. You know, there's a lot of people that did move, that I think it was a good idea to move, and one of those people that I know, they moved back. And I'm like, why did you move back? And, you know, I didn't really think their excuse was very solid. I think they were in a place that they worked really, really, really hard for. But at the end of the day, a lot of people value family networking over kind of living in that, like, isolation. I know the job thing is a huge part of it. Like, how many jobs are there in Ohio? Oh, the cost of living's lower. Not that much. When I used to work in a place that had bumblebee. I used to work in a place. Oh, the bumblebee is right on me. Go away. Go away. Go play. Go play, buddy. I am not a zucchini. The bumblebee is not leaving me alone. Go play. Something must be throwing his senses off. You know, we had places in the Carolinas. We had places in Detroit. We had places on the border. We had places all over. All over. So many people moved to the Carolinas. Hundreds of people moved to the fucking shithole of the asshole armpit of the planet, Carolinas. Almost all of those people, as soon as their stint was over and they weren't contractually obligated to stay there anymore, almost all of them moved back. Fuck that place. God, the Carolinas are a shithole. Absolute fucking armpit of the United States, I swear. In terms of climate. Not people. Love the people. People are amazing. The climate there is dog shit. It's to me, it's like one of the most inhospitable places in the United States. I'd rather live in Arizona. You can, I mean, maybe you can climatize there. I don't know. My point is, though, is that the cost of living there, by the time everybody moved, was not that much better. And because the cost of living was lower there, as soon as you moved there permanently, they wanted to lower your pay. Even though you're doing the same work. You're doing the same work, selling the same product for the same company, and they want to cut your pay in half because the cost of living's lower. Fuck you. And those gals that were all amazing, even though they could be a little cunty sometimes, they used to be so hard on me. I don't know how they figured it out. They all knew how much money I made somehow. They used to be so hard on me for how much money I made. Because, you know, I could live like a king. Never mind that everything here is 3 times more expensive. But, oh, well, if you lived here, you'd be living like a king on that much. I'm like, except that that's not possible. The second I lived there, they would dock half my pay. You know, nobody over there makes the same amount as here. And even, like, you could go down to Mexico for a little while and live like a king. But if you were down there for too long, they would change your pay. You couldn't go, quote unquote, work down in Mexico and make American wages. And that's what's so fucked up about illegals. Oh, well, what about the ones that just want to work? They just want to work. They just want to work and do a good job and work. They're all sending their money back to their own countries. For some reason, they are all allowed to do the work and keep all the money and then send all the money back, and there's no fucking taxes. They can send the money back to their own country and there's no taxes on that. You know, the only way we can do that's with Bitcoin. You can't even buy a video game in like another jurisdiction without them forcing you to pay how much they think that you should owe based on what country you're really from. It's fucking stupid. Never mind that you can hop over the border, not pay taxes, come back, have to pay taxes for no reason. Like, oh, it's, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get on a giant rant about how shitty taxes are again. But this whole just move. There are no fucking jobs anywhere. There's no jobs anywhere. We are headed towards 90% fucking unemployment. And once the Fed lowers its interest rates any day now, the house costs are just going to go back up again. They have got housing prices perfectly matched with interest rates. Oh, house prices are going down. Yeah, well, the amount of houses on the market have doubled and they're not selling. And when the interest rates go down, the cost of houses is going to go back up. The market's just going to keep normalizing, just like it did with tariffs. I got to buy some shit from China before de minimis. I think de minimis runs out in like a couple days. I think it got pushed back a little bit because they couldn't figure out how to do it administratively. I keep forgetting. As soon as I'm done with this, I got to go in there and order a bunch of shit from China. Because it's either going to just sell out entirely, which is what happened a couple months ago where they thought de minimis was going to kick off the last time. But it doesn't. Through all of this, I'll tell you the most important thing that you can get through your thick skulls. It doesn't matter what's going to happen. It only matters what people think is going to happen. That is how they act. You have to react, plan, and prepare based on how people act on what they think is going to happen. When the shit really hits the fan, you won't be able to go to the grocery store. Everybody knows that. And even if people even think the shit is going to hit the fan, you can't go to the damn grocery store half the time. There's a itty bitty honeymoon period at the beginning. It's the same thing with EMP shields for your car. People talk so much shit about EMP shield. Oh, you won't be able to drive anyway. You won't be able to drive anyway. Yeah, you will. If you get out early enough, you will. You'll be able to. You'll be able to head down the freeway if you get out early enough. If it's that, if it's a big Carrington level event, yeah, you will. You won't be able to go 100 miles an hour. Yeah, there's a few hours. Because everyone else's cars will be dead. They won't be able to get on the freeway to plug it up. People's fantasies of what they think are going to happen are just absolutely sideways. Just sideways levels of retarded. None of this is going to go like how people think it's going to go. And that's why I'm kind of just tired of arguing with people. I kind of just laugh at them now. And I don't want to be like super just fuck you levels of mean. But I'm tired. I'm tired of a lot of these arguments. I've had these arguments so many times. Just move. Just switch school districts. Just switch brands. Just get a new car. Just do this. Just do that. Just get a cat. Just get a cat. Just have outdoor cats. Oh yeah, sentence a bunch of cats to death. Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea. Fucking psychos. That's such just sociopath bullshit. Just get a cat. Just get a dog. Oh, the deer in your yard, just get a dog. Do you know how fucking expensive that is? Do you know how expensive a dog is? within a couple years, we're going to be able to buy robot dogs that are more affordable and last longer than how much you spend average on a dog. A real one. Let that shit sink in. And I'm sure robot cats won't fall in much after that. But like, imagine just having a robot cat, having the robot cat tied into all your sensors, and then when it spots a mouse, it just goes, sneaks, gets the mouse, grabs the mouse. You don't have to worry about the cat running in the road. I mean, an owl could grab your cat, but I mean, it would probably not be able to pick it up because the cat would weigh too much. And then, you know, drop your robot cat, and then your robot cat would land on its robot feet and then come return back to its little charging station. I love real cats, and you know, real dogs are okay, but I don't have to worry about a robot dog chasing a car down the road. I don't have to worry about a robot dog getting suckered out by hyenas and murdered. Hyenas. Why the fuck do I keep calling them hyenas? Coyotes. I don't have to worry about a robot dog hurting the postman. You know, I don't have to worry about 3-letter agencies shooting my robot dog. I mean, they can try, I guess, but I mean, first thing I'm gonna do is put Kobler on it. It just, the new batteries that they're putting on the new robot dogs, like, these robot dogs practically run silent, and they can run a couple miles, you know, and I don't have to have it, you know, kill the coyotes. It just needs to run at them and just hit them really hard with its head and just knock them into the next tomorrow, and then those dogs will stop coming back after a while. Same thing with the deer. Same thing with the elk. It could just jump and just smack into an elk and chase it away. Because an elk came, I have these, what are these, Japanese maples or something, that the people who used to live here put in some Japanese maples. Dude, a deer came and just destroyed I think it was an elk, because they're massive bear turds. It just came and just destroyed this Japanese maple. I was like, damn, that is impressive. I'm not even mad. And it ate every leaf off of like an entire part of the tree, so it must have been tall as hell. I think it's the one that killed the plum and the peach back when I first moved in. Anyway, just you gotta just be able to think all this through to its logical conclusion, and then figure out what you're gonna do. You know, for the longest time, I used to believe in like trickle down economics, but I would say even like 5 or 10 years ago, trickle down economics still worked a teeny tiny bit, enough to where you could sort of loosely function. But these last 5 years, ever since that 2015, 2016, when shrinkflation really started happening, and they said they had to deal with the cost of everything's going up, we got to shrink things down a little bit. And then everybody did the math, and the costs weren't really going up. They were just padding their bottom line, and they've been padding their bottom line ever since. Those sizes never came back. Those serving sizes, those ounces, the cost of everything never came back down, food-wise. And food is just going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. And nobody can account for why that food is going up. And I think they're padding their bank accounts. They're shifting every single ounce of wealth that they can, so they can make bigger and bigger moves and accumulate more and more wealth. And then I think they're just going to shut down. And that reminds me, this is an old article, but I had never heard this before. There were several cities that are playing with the idea of having city-ran grocery stores in underserved communities. And that usually means minority or poor cities, depending on where it's at, or both. Or where they've rioted and destroyed their own grocery stores already. Having city-ran grocery stores. I forgot what else I was going to say. There was something more poignant there. I think that's interesting, and I think that's just goes back to there being like a common digital dollar and common basic income, and they'll open a couple of, city-ran grocery stores, and then before you know it, all these tiny in air quotes grocery store chains just won't exist anymore. Fred Meyer, aka Kroger's, those are starting to shut down. QFC, I don't know if a lot of you know what QFC is, but and then Safeway and Albertsons tried to merge. I don't know if they ever finally did, but we're in this insane twilight zone where if I had to be a fly on the wall to the rich mucky mucks that run the grocery store chains, they've probably trended all this out and come to the conclusion that grocery stores are coming to an end. And I think a lot of people have come to that conclusion, but they've never really said it out loud. I used to work for one of the major grocery stores at the distribution center. I know how fragile that entire system is, and most of you know too, have ever tried to go grocery shopping either during the Rona or just before a big storm. Could you imagine your city? Could you imagine your county? Could you imagine your state trying to run a grocery store? That shit's hilarious. That's how you get FEMA camps. What do you want today? Here's your rice and beans. I remember, if you're lucky, go away, you little weirdo. During the Rona, the schools were putting together little food packs for the kids, which I think is great. It was suboptimal, but it was fairly well organized. I can't remember, not Lithuania, Romania, no, one of those places in the Eastern Europe. They started putting together programs for how to dole out the food as fast as possible so it wouldn't go to waste. Belgium? No, Bulgaria? I don't remember. One of those places. And it was really interesting. It was a good idea, but we don't have anything like that here. And during the Rona, they had armed security and you were only allowed one bag of potatoes a day. A lot of people that either didn't need to or didn't want to go out during the Rona had no idea that food was being actively rationed. This is fucking America. And they were telling people how much food they couldn't buy. One bag of rice, one bag of potatoes. That could come back in 2 seconds. The grocery stores can get emptied out in about 2 hours, and there's only one restock coming. By the time that restock comes, it's going to be CW 2.0 and the Panic at the Disco. And man, I tell you what, it's not going to be good. And so what they were suggesting is these Fred Meyer's were closing down is that they replaced them with city-ran, state-ran grocery stores. And apparently like 2 or 3 other cities have already been playing with this idea. That shit's insane. That's like shit at the fan coming true. No joke. I'm gonna send that article to some of the guys and see if they've ever seen that. Shit was nuts. I'd never heard that before. I mean, I knew it was coming, but you know, they tried automated grocery stores. Those didn't work. They have micro marts, you know, little micro convenience centers and stuff, but I think there's a nice breeze coming through. I think my synopsis, or my hypothesis, forecast, I can't think of the right word, was that they were going to lock the grocery stores down and make you come pick it up in the parking lot. And if it gets a little bit worse, I could see the city grocery stores doing that. I'm going to send that article to somebody, see if they want to talk about it. I think Hudson Valley might think that that's neat. Envision. I think it's a neat article. It's old though. I don't know how that flew past my radar. I guess it was like back in January that they've been floating this idea around. But it happened to pop up in our local news to try it here. So I guess just to kind of wrap things up, kind of how I started this whole thing. The prepper movement, the patriot movement or whatever, and you know, all the 3 letters that try to infiltrate and try to gaslight, and all the rats, all the informants, all the honeypots, like none of what the 3-letter agencies, none of their harassment is going to matter, because they're barking up the wrong tree. Most of the Looney Tunes they latch on to the prepper movements, or they latch on to the lefty-loo movements because they don't have a movement of their own. They're not true conservatives. They're not true Christians. They're not true patriots. They're just lunatics that latch themselves onto something, because these lunatics, they don't play well with the others. That's why there's not giant groups of lunatics running around. Even though there are a lot of lunatics, they tend to cancel each other out. And they maybe share the same ideologies, but they still they don't get along with each other. That's why there are no just fringe groups of lunatics. They find some preppers or something, or they find some little militia, then they just gaslight the shit out of them and entrap them all, provide them some shit that doesn't even exist, and then go tell them that they're all going to go do something, and then surprise, 80% of the group was feds or something, whatever. That's not what people should be worried about. That's certainly not what I prep for. I prep because the normies are just gonna lose it. They're gonna fucking lose it. Just like they lost it during the Rona. Everyone, they make fun of the normies for getting toilet paper and water bottles when you didn't even need to get water bottles. The normies were doing that because they had been lied to, and when people are in a panic mode, they go back to like the last known good thing that worked. And the last known good thing that worked, I call it French toast, milk, eggs, bread, toilet paper. Okay? That's how they've survived this whole time. That's all in, and water bottles, because I think enough of them. I think like Y2K, I want to say that Y2K was like the whole water bottle thing, but I bet you if you go back to the Cold War, they probably, if water bottles existed in the Cold War, you know, people would have other ways to store water because they didn't want the water to get irradiated. But I worked in a grocery store on Y2K, and it was water. Everybody was hoarding. Well, it wasn't. I mean, it's only hoarding because there was no water left. People were buying every kind of anything with that even remotely resembled water in a bottle as fast as they could on Y2K. I think that's what people are programmed to do. I don't make fun of them because of that. That's their survival instinct. And it's because they're not trained. They haven't, and that's just what people do to survive. They grab toilet paper and water. That's just what their brain says. That's how they survive through everything. They just get enough toilet paper and water, and then the rest kind of just works itself out. I think making fun of them is really disingenuous, because there's the AC. That's just what they fall back on. And I think also they were told that they would have to stay indoors for a long time, and if you have 4 or 5 people indoors, you're going to go through a lot of TP. They realized they had been lied to, and so they probably took how much they needed. They probably times it by 3, and they probably got a couple so they could share them with their other friends and family and neighbors, and they ended up buying a bunch of TP. And plus, they knew they were going to go through it anyway. I was going to Costco then, and people were going out with 3 or 4 things of TP. I think there were some people that were taking it to sell it. I think that also there were people with U-Hauls, filling up U-Hauls full of toilet paper. And the Costco does not have enough toilet paper to be able to accommodate that. And people are very smart in this regard, that if they see a shelf that's empty of something, and that's something that they can even that they're even loosely familiar with, they're going to go buy it all. Because I think people are just very cognizant of how fucked the supply chain is now. It was that way with seeds. I remember going to a Walmart during the Rona. There was no seeds at all of anything. There's no seeds of all of anything. Maybe flowers. Some asshole, I think I told you guys this. Some asshole maxed out all their credit cards and bought all the fucking Mountain House from the sporting goods store. They went on, the sporting goods store allowed them to do this for some fucking reason and didn't just cancel their order, which is what they should have done. One person bought out the entire distribution center's entire supply of fucking Mountain House. So nobody knows what the fuck happened to all of it. It probably went on eBay or something later. But people are cognizant of this now. You can't find grape plants, grape twigs, grape whatever, because some asshole, this just happened, I forgot if I told you about this, some asshole went to the plant nursery and bought 30, 40, 50 fucking grapes, things of grape, about all the grapes. And they just couldn't get grapes in after that. And my neighbors ended up getting some at the Home Depot, but I haven't seen grapes at Home Depot either. We wanted 2 or 3 more grape things, fucking forget it. We went there and they had 1 or 2 left, and I should have grabbed them, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together. We thankfully grabbed like 1 more, so we have 3, but I wanted like 5. And man, with grapes, dude, they take 2 or 3 years to get going. I wanted to put those grapes in the ground this fucking year so they'd be ready to go next year and the year after, but you can't fucking find grapes. I think people are getting more used to these supply chain disruptions, and when they see shelves empty, they just instinctively grab the last thing from now on. I know, I've been working with my wife on that, and now if she sees things that look like a bargain and she doesn't see very many of them, she grabs them. And that's amazing. That's what I want her to do. And I've been telling other people that too, and they've started empowering. I told some guys on Twitter that I'm like, you need to encourage your wife, your fiance, whatever, girlfriend. You need to encourage them to start doing that, because they're going to be your eyes and ears. Granted, I don't think gals should be out alone. I think they should have either other armed gals with them or armed guys, because you never know when it's going to pop off, especially with how many illegals are here now. But if they are out and about running errands and you just can't be there, hopefully they're armed again and trained. But if it's not going to cause a beef with somebody and they see something, they should grab it. Because gals, I tell you what, gals got really good instincts for shit that they should grab. They really do. And you're like, I wouldn't have thought to grab that. But that's how their little gal brains work. They come home with a bunch of stuff. You're like, I wouldn't have grabbed that. But you know what? That was a good grab. Give them a lot of credit. Empower them to make those decisions. Same thing, like if they needed gas, but the gas station's store is sketchy and they decide to skip it, don't feed them the whole normalcy bias thing. That could have been something horrible. Say, you know what, you're spot on. Good job. You had a gut feeling and you followed the gut feeling, or if the grocery store was sketchy, turn around and come home. It's not fucking worth it. You got to empower them to be able to make those decisions so the gals can survive and help the unit and go back with them, or choose another location or choose a different time of day and stay strapped and prepare to clap. Save your seeds. The plants that work the most, save the fucking seeds. Whichever one of these cucumbers did the best, I want to try to save some of those cucumber seeds, and then those are going to be the cucumbers for next year. Whichever one of those zucchini does the best, I'm going to try to save some of those seeds, and those are going to be the cucumbers for next year. Same thing with these tomatoes. Whichever tomatoes do the best, those are going to be the tomatoes for next year. So figure out what moves you need to make. If it's a second, third, fourth gig, plan those moves now. I think I was telling Ohio OVP this. Your job motivation group does not need to be the same as your prepper group, which doesn't necessarily need to be the same as your financial investing group. They might all end up being buddies someday, but the people that I talk about investment stuff with, none of them are preppers. They're like financial preppers, if you know what I mean. And I honestly, they're already halfway there. I just think they don't realize it yet. They haven't come to the eventuality, but they're like, dude, the economy's bad, the Fed's bad, tariffs are bad. They've come to all those conclusions. They just kind of don't know what to do about it yet. And people work in 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs. Some, not all, but some of the people have come to those conclusions too. They might just not know what to do about it. Some of them might be pissing their money away, but some of them might be saving all their money. And some of the people, if you have workout buddies, some people might have come to that conclusion. Some people might not. You don't know. Preppers, people with preparedness mindsets, people with conservative, people with patriotic mindsets, and again, like, I know militia is a scary word, but people that want to walk the neighborhood and look out for bad guys, neighborhood watch. There's just so many of those people that have, in the grand Venn diagram of things, have overlapping goals, overlapping concerns. Some of them might be feds, informants. Some of them might actually be actual federal workers that are just trying to, they're probably all worried about getting laid off too. Some of, I don't know. You never know. Like, my whole journey of all of this, how my very first book, P&W Affliction, starts. It's all about not knowing who is going to be on your team and not knowing why. All of P&W Affliction is about making new friends and figuring out how to align to get through all this. You don't know who your friends are going to be. It could be a furry. It could be someone who likes to dress up in one of those poofy Tyrannosaurus suits. Like, you don't fucking know. Could be a Wiccan. It could be a vegan. Could be a feminist. It could be a giant raging bulldog. You don't know. Like, you don't know. Like, this preparedness mindset and just Christianity in general. People pick it sometimes, but sometimes it picks you. Like, God could put somebody there for you that they don't even know. They don't even know that God put them there yet for anything. And then you just happen to bump into them and say, hey, you're coming with me. Come with me if you want to live. I've been watching Terminator 2 and Terminator 3, both amazing movies. There's just so many lessons in Terminator 2 and 3. Fate's what we make it. And the whole Cyberdyne thing's been coming up a lot lately. And you gotta stick together, but also don't get infiltrated and divided. And maintain your resources and don't give your resources up. Your resources are for your family first. And it's okay to prep for people that don't even know or need or want someone to prep for them, but if you know that they're probably going to show up, usually what I tell people is just ask them what kind of food they like. Ask them what kind of canned food do you like? That's usually how I start. Oh, you like that canned food? Cool. And then get a couple or what are you allergic to? And then, get something that they're not allergic to. And then when things get bad, and they're like, hey, I'm worried about what happens. I'm worried. Hey, you know what? I think you're a good guy or gal, whatever. If the shit hits the fan, come over to my place. And they go, but I don't have anything. And they like, you know what? You go, you know what? I've got some extra stuff for you. And you don't have to tell them in a creepy way, which I'm not very good at. But anyway, I'm gonna go because I'm losing my voice. And I appreciate y'all, and buy my book and leave a review if you haven't, and talk to y'all later. Bye.
Stick to the plan. Don't tread on me, flag sign on your own glory should have given